Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pooh, Guy, the Chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys are having a great summer so far. It is gorgeous in New York. And it's gonna get hot this weekend. So if you're in New York, be prepared. Anyways, what is going on in our world, in our royal world at least? We have no idea. Our faves are, we hope, under a tree somewhere in Montecito, at their home in Montecito at least, under a tree somewhere, just, relaxing, getting ready for Lily's birthday, big girl Lily's birthday on Sunday, and also Harry preparing to go to the UK, as we know, to, sit in the witness chair and testify in court. First royal that will be doing that ever. So one of the things we know about Harry is that Harry is fearless in a lot of things. So many things, that you would think, oh my gosh, I don't know, Harry, are you sure? And he is just fearless. He's just, that's what he wants to do. Win or lose, success or fail, whatever. Harry is gonna go out there and do it. And I admire him so much. I admire his courage. I admire him putting himself out there. And I so admire him not allowing, as he said in that the documentary from Africa, that he is not gonna be bullied into silence. And he is proving that. And the British press is doing everything in their power, including today. I saw a screenshot of an article that says Harry and Meghan have promised now that they are not going to say anything else, no books, no docuseries, anything about the royal family in the future. Of course, the Sun, which apparently this came from, uh, they stole that from January. Harry did an interview with Tom Bradby, and when he said the projects that they did, the book, the docuseries, they were all looking back projects, and now they're moving forward. So that's where that is from. And now all of a sudden, you know, the Sun stole it and claimed exclusive, not giving Tom Bradby credit for his work, but stealing it, claiming it's somehow an exclusive, 5 months later. I mean, hello. 5 months later, that's some kind of an exclusive. I mean, there is no journalism in the UK. It is a joke. It is an absolute joke. And so, scrolling through Twitter, you come across so-called reporters and so-called news sites in the UK picking up the same nonsense. And it's just like, there are no journalists. There's no journalists, at least when it comes to, say, royal stuff. Maybe there are in other areas, but there is just none in the UK that really deals and speak truthfully about what's going on in the royal world. And so it's just very, it's just like, oh, I just scrolled by. I'm at the point where now it's like I don't even respond, because I'm like, this is a waste of time. This is an absolute, it's like talking to MAGA people. It is an absolute waste of time to try to, it's like, oh, this is a lie, whatever. They're just gonna move on to the next lie. And they know that the people that read their stuff, they're gonna believe it. So they don't care. Someone trying to correct the narrative. It's really sad and it's really sick. And so now, more than ever, it's very clear why Prince Harry's life's work is to change the media landscape in the UK. It is horrible. People believe such lies. They just bold-faced lie, and it just, they know nobody's going to challenge them, and there you go. And so it is just really, really, really sick. So as far as we know, our faves are home, and they are, I'm sure, preparing for big girl Lily's birthday and Harry's court case. And so in the meantime, we're just gonna leave them there under their tree, hanging out, And so Variety, this actually popped up today. I was like, oh, this is great. Variety, which we know, obviously Meghan did her interview and a photo shoot with Variety, and so they have been covering just about everything she does, and so they came out with an Emmy prediction today. Apparently, between June 16 to 26, they'll be voting for the Emmys, and so Variety is predicting that the Harry and Meghan docuseries will be nominated a part of the documentary or docuseries section of the Emmy Awards, which, as we know, is for television. And you know um uh, shows outlets like Netflix and HBO and all of those things are involved. So they'll all, I guess, get they'll have nominees from all of those, or at least they'll be up for these kinds of awards. So yeah, so Variety is definitely predicting Harry and Meghan, and of course we're like, yeah. We definitely want our faves. I'm like completely biased in every step of the word. I have not seen these other documentaries, so I can't even speak as to what they are about. But I'm just like, well, Harry and Meghan are our faves, so I don't care what the other ones are. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the other documentaries, but I'm like, Harry and Meghan docuseries, we know that, so that's what we're rooting for. So hopefully, prayerfully, that they will get nominated. That would be amazing, and I also that they would win. If they get nominated, that would really, ruffle some feathers on Shutter Island. So Variety says Emmy nominations voting runs to from June 15 to 26. The primetime Emmy nominations will be announced on July 12th. So mark that in your calendars. Check back every Thursday for our latest updates. All information is preliminary and is subject to change, obviously. So, definitely, this is definitely an early prediction, but I mean, it is a fantastic documentary. I mean, if you have Netflix, it's there. You can just jump on Netflix, whatever you want, and go watch the Harry and Meghan docuseries. So yeah, it is absolutely really exciting, and so fingers crossed. On July 12th, we will hear Harry and Meghan docuseries. That would be really, really awesome. So kudos to them in advance. Thank you, Variety, for that little prediction. I get it's a prediction. And I actually posted this in our community page. This is sort of like a prequel to or a little interview, about the court case coming up, and about R.S. Locke, who is a freelance reporter. She has been on quite a few different podcasts now, and she did this interview with Byline Investigates. We read Byline Investigates here a lot. We also talk about the owner of Byline Investigates, who actually testified earlier last week, and basically called out Piers Morgan, and also I think Dan, whatever his name is, who's the editor of the Express, as saying, yes, Piers Morgan, he was part of hacking, and Graham Johnson was like, well, why isn't Piers Morgan here? He is one of those hands-on people. Why isn't he testifying? And they were basically called him out, Graham Johnson, out for his phone hacking past and his lying past. One of the reasons he got kicked out of News of the World was because he would fake stories, and he would fake interviews and all of those things, and even faked seeing the Loch Ness monster. It was just like, what? And so he got kicked out, and you think, oh well, he's never going to work again. No, the Mirror picked him up, and he went to work for the Mirror during the Piers Morgan era. And so he testified about that, and he's like, they're like, well, why, pretty much, why should we believe you? And he's like, look, he totally owned what he is. Like, I did what I did. But now I am willing to, help people who have been affected by it. And, I am here willing to call out what I know to be wrong, and what we did was wrong in the past. So he was definitely open and honest about, at least, what we see about his past, and his what he's doing now. And one of the things he's doing now is that he co-owns Byline Investigates, and so that's where we get all those information with court cases. That's how we first knew of any of these court cases. This outlet, this online site just popped up out of nowhere, it felt like, and it's like Byline Investigates, like, oh, okay. And so that's how we found out about the Harry's lawsuit against the mail, Harry's lawsuit against the son, how we found out, when Harry was basically threatening Dan Wooten. And I'm not sure what happened to that, where, it was said that someone at Kensington Palace was leaking something. Dan Wooten and his people paid like $4,000 for info on Harry and Meghan. Wooten threatened to fire, to sue, and then that story kind of just stopped. So maybe they didn't want to get sued. So all of those things, from Byline Investigates. And so RS Log did this interview, and she basically just went back from how it paints her as a different type of royal reporter, in that the fact that she's just coming with facts. She's not a sycophant. She's not in the UK. She's not indebted to the royal family, and is not looking to them for, scoops in order to write or in order to speak as the reporters in the UK. So she's considered like a new breed of royal reporter, or royal reporting. And so so she did this interview, dating back from, going back from when she first was, supported Meghan in suits, straight up to now, and what to expect for the court case. So one of the things that, the final thing she talks about was the impact of the court case on the public. And right now, as I said before, because I was saying, will anything change? Does the public seem to be affected by it? Are they in tune or attuned to what's going on? And the answer, honestly, is no. It's like there's a court case, there are several reports daily about what's going on, but it seemed to have any traction. So, there'll be a big bombshell, for example, even in the other court case with Prince William, the son paying him, a large sum to basically shut up. And it had traction for like a day or two, and then it went away. And this, it have traction for a couple of days, and then it goes away. Like when we were talking about when Alistair Campbell was talking about, what Piers Morgan did, it had traction for a day and then it went away. And so there's not been a sustained, momentum where the public has been able to grasp hold, or at least care to grasp hold of this, and really put themselves in these positions to really get outraged and call for change. And so there hasn't been that. So hopefully, Harry's going to be in the UK, supposed to be on the witness stand on the 6th and the 7th. So hopefully we will get, the public more in tune to what's happening, and to see how it's not just about celebrities. I mean, they too, again, there are over 100 claimants on this case. So Harry is just one. And so we'll see. And for me, I believe, whether all of it has to do with phone hacking, or it has to do with the phone hacking and the blogging and all of that. But also too, there is just certain things that I think Harry may just want to put out in on a court document, just with the royal family's relationship with the press, and have it on a legal document. So who knows? We will see. So Harry's going to just, probably just going to bail out of California. And it's so funny the way how this schedule kind of worked with, first the Jubilee and Archie's birthday, and now Harry having to run out of California, run to the UK to do to get into court. And it's just very interesting, the timing. So, but the good thing is, at least Sunday he can, and I'm assuming he'll be there to celebrate his daughter's 2nd birthday. So I put a link to this in our community page. So if you haven't seen it, go over and take a look. And I'll also put it in the show notes of this video as well. So very interesting conversations, about 30 minutes of just, straight up facts that from, and she, goes into explaining a lot about, just the kind of culture with the British press, and just the abuse that they have heaped on the Sussexes. So good stuff. Absolutely good stuff. This popped up in PA Media. Again, I don't know. This has not been confirmed as far as I know. What's been confirmed is that Harry is going to be on the witness stand on the 6th and the 7th. And the 6th is Tuesday, and the 7th would be Wednesday. This from PA Media, which again, I don't know that it's true, but this is what they're reporting. We will see. Again, we don't really know for 100%. But this is what it's saying. It says, Harry due to return to the UK for the latest stage of the court fight over hacking. He will take the witness box in the trial brought alongside other high-profile figures seeking damages from the Mirror Group newspapers, MGN, over alleged unlawful information gathering, including phone hacking of its titles. The Duke is due to attend court for the opening of his case against MGN on Monday and is expected to enter the witness box on Tuesday. So they're saying that Harry's going to be in court on Monday. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if Harry's going to be in the UK on Monday. That means he's probably going to leave California at some point on Sunday, Lily's birthday. And so who knows? I have no idea. That's what, PA Media is reporting, which is the Press Associated Media. And so that's what they're saying. Don't know. We only know for sure that Harry, what he's scheduled to do is be on the witness stand on Tuesday. So whether he's going to be in the UK on Monday, have no idea. We'll have to wait and see, unless he, something comes out from his people saying this is the situation. So we will have to wait and see. What else is happening? Oh, yes, this. Yes, this. Oh my gosh, I forgot to take a screenshot of this because I forgot that this does not, when I pull stuff into StreamYard, sometimes it takes away drawings or stuff that I put there, and I forgot I needed to do a screenshot, and this took away the drawing. But anyways, remember how when Harry went to the UK for the the coronation that nobody asked for? Well, one of the things, the big narrative of the day was that Harry was was a third row royal or whatever, whatever seating he had. I think it was in the third row or something. And that was the big news, that he was relegated to the third row, and that was one of the big things. Well, I love karma, because I think every time, something happens like that, and the UK press is just being stupid and just being just really snobbish. And, I remember Camilla Tominey, that's her favorite thing. Like, they're really relegated to the third row, or they're second row royals. And I'm like, you're not a royal. You're not even in the building. You're not even there. So who are you to be snobbish at anybody, even if they had third or fourth row? But that's their attitude. It's just this British snobbishness, and it's just like they have this deluded sense of grandeur. It's just amazing to me. But again, if we were inclined to get upset about that stupid narrative, well, look at karma descending on those two royals. Apparently, they're in Jordan to attend Crown Prince Hussein's wedding to Rajwa El Saif. That's her name. And so they're a lovely couple there at the bottom. I mean, that's what the picture says. I don't know them. But that's them at that little picture at the bottom there in yellow. And so Kate and William apparently, were invited. They went private jet. And someone is reporting today that their mother and father, Kate's mother and father, are with them. So whether there are the children with them as well, don't know. But, the bankrupt Middletons, at least their party pieces that are bankrupt, and owing taxpayer money, they took a private taxpayer-funded jet to this wedding and take two broke people who owe taxpayers over 170 million pounds to this wedding with them. No outrage, apparently. No outrage. But one of the funny things about this is, one of the things that the Brits were laughing about again at the coronation was Prince Harry being a third row royal, and then how far back in the back that they parked Jill Biden, our wonderful First Lady of the U.S., only to see karma descend today with, if you can notice them, and that's why I'm really upset, my little circles. Here is William and Kate, and if you can look at the rows of this picture, if you have not seen it, they are placed in the fourth row. And Kate is in the fourth row, straining her neck to see whatever it is they're looking at the top. It's just very funny because all of a sudden, Kate and William, they were front row at the coronation nobody asked for, now relegated to the fourth row when they go to Jordan. And it's just like, you know what? Yeah, that is the value of your royals that you think were so highfalutin. Here they are in Jordan with other royals, and they are relegated to the fourth row. So, and look at our wonderful vice president. I'm sorry, wonderful first lady on the second row, 2 rows above. And it looks like William is looking at her. At least I don't know what William's looking at, but he's looking in her direction. But there's Kate and William in the back there. My circles are gone, so I hope you can recognize them. Top of the picture, two person in from the right. You can see William's head there, and you can see Kate straining her neck to look at something. And it's just very, very funny because one of the things you will not see in the newspaper today is fourth row royals. You will not see it in their newspaper that Kate and William were relegated to the fourth row at this wedding. You will not see that here Jill Biden was considered more important than Kate and William, and whomever was in that third row. But again, Kate and William relegated to the fourth row. Yep, they're the fourth row royals, and no one in the royal rota is reporting about it. But the squad's got it, and we are laughing about it. But again, it's like, when stuff happens like this, and we tend to get like, oh, just have to wait on karma. Karma just loves to pay these people a visit, and it's very, very funny. And it seems like karma will be descending on the likes of Dan Wooten very soon because Private Eye is just reporting some of his hypocrisy, though they didn't specifically name him. But when you look at the description and what Dan Wooten has been doing and how he's been crowing about what happened to Philip, not happened to, but what became of Philip Schofield and or Schofield. And he has been, sitting on his high horse, condemning him and all of those things. And I said before, it's like these people, it's like none of them have a moral high ground to be condemning anybody. But that does not stop the Daily Mail, and it has not stopped Dan Wooten. And so it's now coming out about his own past about, making advances and unwanted advances on younger people who he worked for, and bullying and all of that stuff. So just give it a minute. Karma is going to descend, and Private Eye talks about how his former co-workers at his past job are like flabbergasted as to his response with Philip Schofield, knowing that he was in the same boat. He was doing like the same thing. And so, or at least attempted to do the same thing. Whether he was successful, don't know. But it's very interesting that people are calling him out and tagging him on the Private Eye thing. And this has been out there. His Dan Wooten allegations about him has been out there for quite a while. And 2 years ago, I learned about this around the same time with Philip Schofield. It was on Twitter. And so who knows? People are starting to speak up. And, karma is visiting them. So we shall see if it's going to be something like that, happening with him and GMB. And, he's at GMB and he's also at the Daily Mail. So who knows? And, very, very, very interesting. Apparently the Daily Mail has they just fired a senior writer there for the very same thing that they're crowing at Philip Schofield about. Somebody at GB News, where Dan Wooten is, there's a big hubbub there because one of his co-workers were doing the same thing to other people at work, and they were reported, they fired him, and then Dan Wooten apparently stood up for the guy and he came back. And so there's been a lot of stuff that is being exposed. It's just not big news just yet. So karma is working its way through them, so we shall see. I mean, these people hurt so many people. And especially when stuff like this happens, they're the first to condemn. completely ignoring. And one of the things I said is like, when people behave that way, when people are outed and all of that stuff, and people behave screaming to the top and on their high horses, when people behave that way, my mindset is they're using that noise to hide they're using that noise to hide their own behavior. And lo and behold, so there you go. We shall see what will happen with that. But again, you know, Fort Royals over there. So, anyways, moving on from the Fort Royals. What else is happening? Oh, this has nothing to do with the Royals or the Sussexes or anything like that. But female lead always quotes Meghan, and they always put like Meghan's quotes. And I know Meghan definitely support the female lead. I actually even want to think that they had made a donation to them or something. I could be wrong. I have to go back. I just literally just thought about it, so I have to go back and check. But the female lead posted this today, and I thought, this is so true. It says research indicate that women often employ self-minimizing or softer language in the workplace and are also more likely to apologize unnecessarily. How do you change this habit? Simple. Swap sorry with thank you, and you will be amazed at the results. And I love this because I always have to catch myself saying sorry, or apologizing for no reason. And it's just this thing where we feel like we have to minimize ourselves or make apologies for ourselves or whatever it is so people don't get mad at us, whatever. And so we're always, I'm sorry. And sometimes I even have to tell someone, people who say to me, like, there's nothing to be sorry about, stop saying that. Then I have to tell myself that because I catch myself doing the same thing. And so, I put this out there for you. If this is you and you feel like you're constantly apologizing and sometimes for no reason you're apologizing, this could help you. And I thought it's helped me when I saw it today, and I was like, oh, let me pass this on. It says, swap sorry with thank you. And so before, it says it has the befores and the afters, how you can swap sorry and how you can replace. It says, sorry, I keep making mistakes. Instead, say thank you for helping me get better at my job, which is great. It's a more positive take. Also, sorry for taking up so much of your time. And instead of doing that, saying that, say thank you for listening and giving me this time. So much better, so much more positive. And also, sorry, I don't have that ready for you today. And instead, swapping that out with, thank you for your patience with this. And I was like, yes, exactly. We need to stop saying sorry and look at it from a different perspective. Look at it, other than trying to be like, minimize ourselves and trying to be, I don't know, all the things we try to be when we're like, I'm sorry, and constantly apologizing. Put it on the other person, thank you for helping me do this. And it's just a more humble place. It's a more humble place. It's, you're putting yourself out there more. And it's just a more honest place. And it's also, it's a more confident place where, you don't feel like you don't have to apologize for taking up someone's time, or you don't have to apologize if something just isn't ready. So, thank you for thank you for your patience in waiting for this, And so I just thought it helped me to reframe my mind and reframe my mindset when it comes to when it comes to constantly apologizing for things, especially when I have nothing to apologize about. So it helped me, and so I just pass it on. I thought it might help you as well. So, and these are just 3 different examples. We say sorry for a bunch of different things. These are just 3 examples. So it's a good thing would be to come up with different ways you could say thank you instead of sorry. So there you go. My little nugget for the day via the female lead. And also, this has nothing to do with royals or anything like that, but as we know, a few days ago, icon Tina Turner sadly passed away. And one of the things that came up is, different interviews that came up, that she's done. And again, I don't know Tina Turner's life. And so one of the things that I'm going to do is, read her memoir book biography about her. Actually, I was going to watch the her documentary about her life. And so just to get to know her, because I don't really know her other than, her songs, and know, or I've heard a little bit about, the horror she lived with her former husband, Ike Turner, and the abuse and stuff that she went through, or not went through, but he put on her, and she lived through and ran away from, and then just completely redid her life and became a success. I mean, she had love at the end of the day. At the end of her life, her husband, she was apparently going through really horrible medical issues, and then she was preparing to die, and then her husband gave her one of his kidneys, and so that he could prolong her life. I mean, she was loved. He loved that woman, and so she lived a full, long life. And so one of the things that came up when she passed, again, with these interviews, and there's a clip by Mike Wallace for CBS in an interview with her. And the interview is fine. They were like looking over and looking at her property, and it's overlooking this beautiful, the ocean in France and all of this stuff, and showing him, and she was showing him the pool and talking about raising the pool, and she has this beautiful view now and all of this stuff. And then at the end of the clip, Mike Wallace turned to her and asked her, and this is where this says, "Do you think you deserve all this?" And her response was, "I deserve more." And it was the first time I was seeing this clip, and it just rubbed me all the wrong ways, and a lot of other people who saw this clip as well was just rubbed the wrong way. One of them is Leslie Streeter. She's a reporter from Baltimore. She's also a squatty of size. She definitely supports Harry and Meghan. And that's how I sort of got to know a little bit about her and a little bit about her work. And so it rubbed her the wrong way. And so she decided that she's going to write an article about it, but also interview other women who have been in these spaces where they have incredible success no matter what, yet people still, look at them like, do you think you deserve this? Or on the other side, you don't deserve this. Or they, we see this with Harry, with especially Meghan a lot, where white people are always looking in her pockets, people who don't feel like she deserved her home. They don't feel like she deserved the things she has, so they have to attack her or try to do whatever they can to disrespect her in this way, like, oh, you don't deserve what you have, even if you worked your whole life for what you have. People tend to think like, oh, Meghan married Harry for money. And it's like, no, Meghan was a millionaire before she got married. She's still receiving checks from Suits, even though she hasn't been on there for 6 years. There's still residual checks coming into her bank account from Suits from all these years ago. Suits is now going to be on Netflix. And so more money coming into her, so she does not need Harry at all in any sense of the word. And she was a successful businesswoman long before she met Harry. And so, they interviewed like, Leslie also talked about, Shonda Rhimes, who, with all the stuff that she accomplished and all the money that she brought to ABC, and, with, what is that doctor show? What's her name? I don't know. I forgot what. I had to watch TV, but How to Get Away with Murder. They produced that, and what is the one with Kerry Washington where she's that detective woman? And then the doctor show and all of those. What is it? What's the? Oh, why did I remember the names of these shows? And this is what happens when you don't watch TV. It's just like, yeah, that doctor show. And then How to Get Away with Murder. She has also produced that one as well. And Grey's Anatomy is what I wanted to remember. Grey's Anatomy. And then what is that Kerry Washington show? Now I'm forgetting the one where she is that, sort of lawyer kind of person. But anyways, so all of this stuff, she brought all of these millions and millions of dollars to ABC. And then she had a situation where she, I think one of her relatives were going to Disney, whatever, and they had a bit of a mix up with a ticket. So she asked, can they help her with getting tickets to go into Disney World or whatever it was? And one of the executives was like, doesn't she have enough? This is a person who brought billions and millions of dollars, maybe billions, to ABC, to Disney. And because she wanted them to help her with $100 and something ticket, their attitude was, you've had enough. We can't help you. I mean, it would have cost them nothing to help her. And so Sandra Rhimes promptly dumped them and went off to Netflix. And that's where she's producing her new shows. And so it's kind of a situation that no matter what, especially Black women, has accomplished through their hard work, through putting their hands to the grind, to sleepless nights, to getting the best education, doing everything they can to be where they are, people still have this attitude: do you think you deserve it? In other words, you don't deserve what you have. And so it is just it's so like a gross. But one of the things that I love at the end of it, when he asked her, do you think you deserve this, Tina Turner was like, I deserve more. And I'm so happy she had a sense of self, a sense of who she is, and a sense of her worth. And she was not afraid to say boldly, I deserve more. And so it really was just like, wow, yes, I need to claim that. We need to claim that. People used to be upset with Venus and Serena, how confident they were, and because they knew their self-worth. They knew what they deserved. They knew what they were worth, and they were willing to say it. I remember with Serena's number one, people, Serena would be like, yeah, I deserve to be number one. And it was always like, people, it seemed off-putting to some people, and people would attack her. And she knew her worth. And so Leslie, I'm sorry, that's a little bit rambling, but Leslie wrote about this. She says, so I promised to write. So as I promised, I wrote about Tina Turner and the ridiculous question Mike Wallace asked her whether she deserved the spoils of her success, and talked to other women who can relate. And so this is a little bit of her article. She says, "You think you deserve all this?" I watched 60 Minutes. I watched a 60 Minutes clip of Mike Wallace in 1996 interview with Tina. I watched the 60 Minutes clip of Mike Wallace 1996 interview with Tina Turner about 6 times since it resurfaced last week after her death at 83. Every time I get to the part where Wallace, surveying the majesty of Turner's palatial French estate, asks that question, I feel the immediate need to hit or throw something. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. It's so infuriating. Another part of the article, she says, she talked about what Tina went through, and what, just how horrible her life was with Ike, how much he beat her. By the end of it, she was left with a mobile card and 50 something cents, I guess. That was all she left that marriage with. She ended up, I think, at the end getting a car or something. All she did was she left with that mobile card, a 50 something cents, and her name. She had ownership of her name, as opposed to the studio or Ike Turner having ownership of her name. And she rebuilt her life. I mean, she had a horrendous life with that man who, like, I guess he was trying to, kill her or something. It was crazy, the amount of abuse he piled on this woman. And she left, and that was all she had: a few cents, a mobile card, and her name. And so another part of the article said she rebuilt her life and career and earned every inch of fancy tile in that villa with her own talent, but still found herself defending her right to be there. So her confident answer, I deserve more, offered without a moment of hesitation, was incredibly satisfying. But what the hell was that question? It is galling, and for myself and a lot of professionally successful women, sadly familiar, to have to justify your success or career choices that got you there. And I feel exactly like Leslie. It's like for her to have accomplished all this and yet still having to justify having, a palatial home and, and a pool and a beautiful view. She still had to justify, she still had to deal with this. Do you think you deserve all this? In my years of being on this earth, I have never, ever heard this question posed to a white man or a white woman. Ever. I could be wrong. Maybe, other people have heard it. But I have never, ever heard that question posed to a white woman or a white man if they deserve the things that they have. But it's always a black woman. We remember we talked, a lot about what they did to President Barack Obama when he left office, and he had, I think, it was a $4 million speaking fee, and how so many people, including other politicians, were up in arms about how dare he take money for speaking and a speaking engagement and that much money. Meanwhile, nobody questioned when Clinton did it before Obama. Nobody questioned when George Bush did it before Clinton. Nobody questioned when a white person do it. But when a black person gets a $4 million speaking fee, everybody's all up in their pockets. Every white person is all up in their pockets because why? They don't feel like they deserve it. The white person, the white former president is okay. Nobody's like, oh yeah, of course you deserve it. You're a president. But when Barack Obama left office, somehow he, more intelligent than the other two, obviously, he didn't deserve it. And it's just like, again, having to justify. I'm glad Barack Obama's never had, felt the need to have to justify him taking. He's just ignore the nonsense. But it's the same thing. Meghan is the same thing. Always wanting her to justify, her reason for marrying a prince, justify her wealth, justify, that's why they keep harping on it. The undertone is you're not worthy of what you have, so thank you, Leslie and the woman. I'm going to put a link to this article in the show notes so you can, you can read it yourself. It's a really good article to see other women, their experience, who have worked for what they have, tooth and nail, work for what they have, and yet still having to put in a place where there is this question, whether it's posed to them directly at this or, posed in another way, but it's all still mean the same thing. Do you think you deserve all this? And so my question is yes. Yes, Black women, we deserve it. We deserve all the success, all the victories, all the celebration. And the other thing is, if you have victories, it's like, oh no, you should not celebrate it because that means you're arrogant. That means you're whatever. It's like, yeah, no, we deserve it. We deserve to celebrate it. We deserve to have the recognition because we worked hard for it in circumstances where others, the white population don't have to do. We have to be so much extra to get the same benefits that a white population gets. We have to be 10 times better, and yet when we do all of those things and are 10 times better, we're still asked this question, do you think you deserve it? We think in terms of royalty when they ask Meghan to, oh, can you be 50% less? Meanwhile, we have praising of mediocrity of the Cambridges. Everything she does is, oh my gosh. Meanwhile, Meghan is, 100 times better, and she gets criticized. In so many ways, this question is asked, and when she rises above it, it's still, do you think you deserve all this? And usually the answer for them is no. Therefore, I will do everything in my power to take you down, to make you know that you don't deserve it. But I'm here to just congratulate and just really lift up my sisters, my Black sisters, and just putting it out there. You deserve it. We deserve every success we have, no matter who thinks otherwise. And I hope to never hear this question ever again put to a Black woman. Do you deserve it? We work too hard and we work too long for the things we have, for people to be out there questioning if we deserve it. Meanwhile, they're out there praising white mediocrity. That is unacceptable to me. So, anyways, moving on from that. So again, I'm going to put the link in the show notes so you can take a look at it and read the article. It's a really good article. And finally, well, almost finally, we actually, I just saw when I pulled this in, it was $91,344. Now I think we're up to $93,344 for the Kaboom fundraiser in honor of Archie and Vincent Lilibet's birthday. Of course, we have had Archie's on May 6th, and now we are going to have baby Lilibet's, or big girl Lilibet, on June 4th. And so right now we are racing ever so close to $100,000. And again, remember the goal was 20,000. We are 70,000 above 70,130. I'm sorry, 71,000 way beyond that $20,000. So it's just like we have obliterated that 20,000 in mere hours on the first day we started this. So very, very, very exciting. Again, whatever they're doing to celebrate a baby Lily, kudos to them. And we are going to keep our celebration, for Kaboom. And I know they are very excited and really grateful for the support they're getting from the squad. And finally, 100 days to go for Dusseldorf. So they are celebrating. Invictus Gaming Foundation put this out. See you in Dusseldorf. 100 days to go. You see the little photos of there. So it's just very exciting. That's coming up, obviously, September 9th to 16th. The Invictus game will be there. Would be very excited to see Harry. Don't know if Meghan and the kids will be there. Don't know. My sense is probably no. But it would be great if they're there. We know Meghan was there for a couple of days. The last time they were shooting the Heart of Invictus, and so that should be coming up as well. I don't know. I know Netflix had put out something in January. Just basically getting a little bit of buzz because obviously the Harry and Meghan docuseries was there and Spare was there, so giving it a little bit of a play. But so far we haven't heard anything else from it. So hopefully in June or July we'll start hearing something about it whenever they decide to put it out. I'm assuming it would be maybe closer to the games that it'll come out. So we will see. So very, very, very exciting. Very excited about to see the Heart of Invictus and to see what they come up with. And obviously we saw some of the the athletes, the very inspirational athletes who are at the Hague. So it would be amazing. And also too, Yulia, that footage that she has when they gave her the camera in Ukraine, and then she was she, instead of being able to film the athletes there preparing for the games, we know the Russian invasion happened in the Ukraine, and then so she instead filmed what she, the people that she was taking care of. She was a medic, and then she was captured by Russia and then held there for a couple of months, I think, few months, treated her horribly, and then she was released, and so she's back home in Ukraine. Haven't heard anything from her. I know she gave a couple of interviews that we talked about here. So it'll be interesting to see if they use the footage that that she shot while she was there and dealing with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So all of that would be very interesting. I am very much excited to see what the documentary would be. It'll be awesome. So anyways, I think that's it, guys. That's all I got. Thank you so much to our awesome moderators, Church, Nelly, Lydia, Karen M, Cookies and Cream. As always, you are amazing. I'm gonna put my little scrolly thing back here so that it's there. Thank you so much for taking care of our chat. You are awesome. Thank you to our 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis financially. Thank you all so much for being a part of the 2 Cents crew. I appreciate it. And thank you so much to our Gold Star supporters who support in the chat, whether it's a donation or a super thanks or super stickers or super chat, all of those things. Thank you so much for supporting the chat, and also some, if you've done it via PayPal or Cash App or merchandise, thank you as well. So I appreciate you in every single way. So again, until tomorrow, who knows what there will be tomorrow. Have a fantastic evening, and I will see you and speak to you soon. Oh, and if you have not subscribed, once again, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the bottom of this video. Click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. And please like and share the video. Help us to continue to build the channel. It's growing slowly, but it's growing, so I'm happy. And also you, or if you're able, join the channel as well. So thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.